As always, thank you for listening to the SchnosKnows podcast. My guest, Anthony Hicks, joins us today, former Longhorn linebacker, so he obviously knows all about this weekend and playing in this game and everything that comes with it. So, as always, thank you so much for joining us, Anthony. How you been, man?
I've been good, just trying to stay cool and enjoy some of this fall weather. And of course, football's season's going on, so this is the best time of year.
Right, exactly. I see you guys are on like a little bit of a winning streak, man. How are things going with the team?
Oh man, we're doing very well. We're 5-1, 4-0 in district. I'm sorry, yeah, yeah, 4-0 in district.
Nice.
And then we play Sherman tonight, so we're hoping to pull out another dub, and that'll give us 5 district wins. So it's been since 2014 since we've had 5 district wins.
Oh, wow.
So that'll move us to 6-1 and puts us in a good position for playoffs.
Awesome. Well, that's great, man. Yeah, cool. I got to check out one of y'all's games here coming up pretty soon. I think you guys played in the Ford Center, a couple weeks ago or last week?
Where were we last week? Yes, we were in the Ford Center last week.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could make it, but just too many things were coming up. So, but yeah, man, let's talk about Texas OU hate week. So, obviously, personally, I can't remember an OU team coming into this matchup limping in, beat up, don't have their normal swagger since like 2005. I mean, from a perspective as a player, anything can happen in this rivalry. So, what do you do to try to not be overconfident or thinking, oh, well, their quarterback's hurt. They got blown out the last 2 weeks. What do you do to make sure you go out there? And obviously, it's a crazy atmosphere. You're going to be jacked up, running on adrenaline, going 150 miles per hour. What do you do all week to make sure you try to keep that in check and make sure you take care of business against a team that, by all accounts, everywhere you look, everybody says Texas wins this game and wins it handily?
Well, you really you lean on your seniors, you lean on those that have been there, that have gone through this game. Your coaching staff, even though this will be only their second Texas OU matchup, but in my eyes, you lean on the old heads is what we would call them, the guys the guys that's been there, the guys that's been through it, that understand that that it doesn't matter the record in a game like this, and it's really a must win for both programs, to be honest. And so I don't think that they're going to let the outside influences change their view or their work ethic toward this game, because I mean, any rivalry game, it doesn't matter. And if you probably look at it, most times in a rivalry game, it's the unfavored team, the underdog, that typically comes up victorious. There were multiple games, even when I was playing, where we weren't picked to win, and we were the ones kind of hobbling in, and and we were able to go in and win that game. And so records are out the window, all that stuff's out the window, because it's just that type of game. The reality of it is that both teams really need to win this game. We're not we're not in a position to just take this game lightly. And so I think we know that. I think OU knows it, and it's going to be. I think it could be one of those really epic games. It's sad that I was given a stat that this is the first time that neither one of the teams, I can't remember the stat, neither one of the teams are ranked, or this is one of the first times that neither team, it's or something with the Big 12. I
Yeah, I
can't
think it's
remember
the
the
first time
stat.
since '98. Yeah. So back in your playing days. Yeah, that was the Ricky Williams game, right? When he wore 37 for Doak Walker, I
Yes.
believe. Yeah. So yeah, you played. Obviously, that's one of the more memorable games in the series there. So yeah, it's different. It doesn't have that normal, I mean, kind of feel, I guess, nationally. Obviously, somebody like you, former player, fans like myself, everybody gets excited for this game no matter what. Even when Charlie Strong and Tom Herman, some of those teams kind of went in there and weren't playing too well before, maybe lost a game or two. And no matter what, you're like, it's still Texas OU. You still get excited. But like you were saying, you got to depend on the older guys and the coaches. Obviously, we all remember the nightmare of last year. Without touching on it too much, how does that? And that's kind of been like an Achilles heel for Sarkisian. I think I saw something of like he's lost however many games where they've had a lead at half and even leads in the fourth quarter. How do you prevent that? Or like, not even just for this game, but just in general, like, why does this keep happening?
I mean,
Easier
I don't
said
know
than
if
done.
there's really, yeah, I don't know if there's really an answer to that, other than just unlucky, you know. I don't think I don't think it's a deal where it's a lack of endurance or uh, you know, blown assignments or adjustments. It's just, I don't know, you know, it's just finding a way to win the game at the end of the day. You know, who's going to be the person to step up and win that game. And so it's you know, kind of like the Alabama, we put ourselves in position to win it, and we didn't. uh you know, the moral victory was there, but you know, in all accounts, I mean, we did everything we needed to do to win it except make the plays that counted at the end. And
Right.
so, I mean, I guess you would say the Achilles heel is who makes the play, you know, who makes that play. And, you know, just like the game against Tech, you know, we're right there. Were, you know, and we just happened to find a way to kind of not find a way, but just happen to lose that game, to go into overtime and, you know, to fumble. And so it's just, I mean, I hate to say it's unlucky, but I don't think it's one thing you can pinpoint that you can say this is
Right.
why those games are coming up short. I mean, it's from all accounts, it's coming from different areas, and so it's just everybody doing their job, doing it the best they can, being locked in, making the adjustments where there may need to be adjustments or maybe no adjustments. And at the end of the day, you know, if you go back and look at those games, it's they made the plays to win the game and we didn't.
Right. Yeah.
So
Even
it's
at the end of
just
that Tech game, they kind of that second half was just like, nah. And then right at the very end, bang, 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 they make the plays. They got the kick to send it to overtime. Once that happened, I was like, okay, you know, they didn't play good for most of this game. They're going to pull it out. And then Bijan, who never fumbles, puts it on the ground. And then, you know, Tech gets the walk-off winner. But yeah, it just seems like it's just been the craziest thing with second halves and things just falling apart. And, you know, I don't think it's going to recur anymore. I want to say this team's turning a corner. I think that Alabama game showed quite a bit of how this team responded. And even the game right after that, what was it, UTSA? They
mhm.
they what had the onside kick, then like the double pass, they hit for a touchdown, and they were up, and it's just like I could see everyone's like, here's the collective national, here goes again. Texas is gonna find a way to lose, and then I think right after that, Texas had like a 12-play drive for a touchdown, and they pretty much shut it down, and that was it. So it's like, okay, they're turning the corner, and then Tech, I mean, I just chalked that up. I figured they would have a clunker kind of like that kind of game somewhere along this season. I didn't think it would be there, but Lubbock, as you well know, is a crazy place to play. They're playing a bunch of young guys. They're playing a backup quarterback who's not 100% healthy. So, but speaking of the quarterback, it sounds like Quinn Ewers is going to be good to go. Uh, I know you've said before, as a defensive player, doesn't really matter who's playing. Just go out there and make plays. Do what you're supposed to do. We'll
Mhm.
do our job. So, do you have any like? Would you rather see Hudson Card State in there as opposed to Quinn Ewers, or if he's 100%, put him in there and just whatever happens, happens? You're not worried
I
about
mean, if
re-injuring or
you,
making it worse.
well, you went into the season, you know, and you chose him your number one for a reason. And so if your number one's good to go, you roll with your number one. Um, you know, I think he gives you a different aspect of the offense, that Hudson doesn't. But Hudson has his own skill set that makes the offense go as well. And so, I mean, if your number one's ready to go, you roll with your number one. if he's rusty, if he's not getting the job done, if, it's just not there, if he's still, if he takes a hit and it's just, whatever that may be, you're just going to be evaluating that throughout the day. And if you just feel like, hey, he's not ready, then, good thing is you got a seasoned number two or a 1A or 1B
basically,
quarterback that you can roll in there to get you, to that can give you quality snaps and put you in a position to win the football game. So, if he's ready to go and he's cleared all the protocols and everything that, the medical staff and the coaches there, and he's been practicing without any restrictions, then you roll with your number one. And, and it's good because, it's just kind of, you would have liked him to get like maybe that West Virginia game in to be able to, maybe knock off some rust or whatever. But, to go into this atmosphere and, being that it's his first one as a player, first Texas OU, it'd be interesting. So you roll with him, you roll with him, you evaluate, you see how he's doing. I don't know if it'll be a quick hook. I think you roll with him until you feel like he's just not getting the job done, or you deem it that he's just not healthy enough really to get it to play, and then you roll Card out.
Sure. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's so I think that would be their approach. I mean, you roll with your number one, you get him into the groove, see where he's at, evaluate him, knowing that if it's not working, for whatever reason, then you roll Card out there. And they may try to do a dual quarterback type deal just so they can maybe ease Ewers into it. So they may have certain packages and things for both quarterbacks. So
sure. All right. Before I get your prediction, favorite moment for you personally while you played? Was it, just running out of the tunnel? Was there a time where you just, everything just like, you read it perfectly and it was a blitz, hit the quarterback in the mouth, something like, what was your favorite memory of playing in this game for you personally?
Well, I mean, it starts in the tunnel. I mean, it's you can ask anyone that's had the opportunity in any type of atmosphere, but a big rivalry game, it's just the atmosphere. I mean, it's at the fair. I would say just the tunnel is where, to me, the chill bumps come, just because, I mean, before they've made it all fancy, it used to not be covered. And so as you leave the locker rooms, as you start walking down, because the locker rooms face each other, and it's not a whole lot of space in that tunnel. So
I was about to say, did anything ever pop off in that tunnel where the cameras couldn't see?
They
keep you guys separated.
They normally did a pretty good job in keeping us separated. There was one year where I guess there was maybe a mix-up on who was going out first. So now both teams are in the tunnel at the same time. And so that was a little interesting. But, you go down that tunnel and, you go basically blind. And then as you're going about 3/4 down, or best a quarter down, then the locker rooms are on the OU side. So all you had was this big chain link fence. So, now you're just getting the business from the OU fans but on the UT side, they can't see you yet until you start getting a little bit further down the tunnel. And then they got smart because, OU fans are not very bright. So they start throwing stuff at us.
I remember that the first time we talked, you said how they had to end up like building the fence higher and putting that cover over it because things were getting thrown in y'all's direction quite often, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes. So they covered it. Now it looks really nice. But when they put that cover over it, now, you can hear them, but you can't really see them. And they can see us coming out of the locker room, so they know who's coming out on the OU side. But the UT side, you don't know. And, unless they're showing it on the Jumbotron or whatever. And so as you're walking they can't see anything. They can't see who's coming through the tunnel unless it's on the jumbotron. But it's pretty cool because as you're walking, it literally is tunnel vision. And as you get about halfway down, you start seeing the field, and then you see more and more of the field. And now the fans on the far end zone can start seeing you. So then you can hear them start getting loud, and everybody starts getting loud until you get to the end of the tunnel before you run out.
I'm
So
getting
it's
goosebumps
really
just
cool.
thinking about it, man. I can't
Man,
imagine
it's
what it'd be
really
like to
cool.
experience that.
Yeah, really cool experience. To me, it starts right there with the tunnel. And then, of course, growing up in Dallas and, played a high school football game on that field and
I
everything
remember.
else. So all that, encompassing is just what makes the game great. I mean, playing the game is awesome. Yeah, there's plays I remember, and wins and losses, and of course the epic tie in '95, which was my freshman year.
Yep.
So those, I mean, I do, all those things are great memories. But if I could just walk down the tunnel, I don't have to play it down. But if I could just walk down the tunnel one more time, that would be the one thing I would love to do.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Just like I said, when you were describing everything, I'm just picturing in my head, just like you said, you walk out of the locker room, there's OU, they're right there. I can only imagine the things that are said back and forth to one another, and then you run out of the thing, and you run out of the OU side, and then once you can see everything, you're running into like the sea of burnt orange on the other end. So yeah, I mean, it would probably be just epic just to experience that alone, like you said, not even playing it down, but just to feel that and just in that environment would be because it's such a unique thing. I mean, obviously, you played in bowl games, you played in big games, you played in big stadiums all over the place. But Texas OU is just so unique. I mean, neutral field, the state fair, huge rivalry. It's like I've heard so many people that have no connection to Texas or OU saying like when they went to this, it was like the atmosphere was just off the charts, better than anything they've ever seen. Everybody always talks about like Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, Auburn, all sorts of things, or maybe Notre Dame, USC, whatever. But like nothing compares to Texas OU. It is so unique by itself, but from anything else, you can't compare it to anything. It's just literally a standalone, like one of those bucket list things. Like if you love college football and you have no affiliation either or, you got to go to one of these games. Is like what everybody says.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
I would agree.
yeah. So, all right, what's your prediction for tomorrow? You got to if you had to throw a couple of chocolate chips on.
Gosh, you know what I always say. I don't know.
Is it gonna be close?
So
Is it
I have,
gonna you want to see it? I want to see a straight ass whooping. I mean, I want to see Texas go out there and drop like 50 plus, just beat them down, just kick their ass. Just I'm out for blood. Now, granted, I'm just a fan, I'm not a former athlete or player or anything like that. But from the fan perspective, I think I can speak for most of us. We want to see an ass kick. Just beat the hell out of them. Just kill them.
if I granted, yeah, if I was a betting man, I know they are picking us to by anywhere from 8 to 10 points is the line. I don't know. Again, I know OU's hobbling in, and everybody's talking about poor OU, poor OU. I mean, they're still not a terrible football team, and we have some deficits of our own. And they still got really good football players. So, first and foremost, I want us to come out on top. I'd love like a 35-3 or something like that,
There you
where
go.
it's a game where you just go in and say, from start to finish, we just dominated them, which I mean we have the ability to do, without a doubt. Man, I mean, I'd say my prediction would be something like I'm gonna go 42
Ooh,
42-17 us.
there you go. That'll work. I'd be happy with that. That would be nice. That'd be very nice.
I think we'd be able to, I think we're, I mean, I know that we should be able to score and be able to put up points. Um, you know, giving them the respect they have, they still have some offensive weapons, but I think defensively we should be able to contain all that. You know, being that it's a rivalry game and very high tension and very high tension on both sides, just because I mean, regardless, this is a must win. I feel for both programs, and I feel like they may not say that coaching wise and just say, we're just approaching this as another game.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, coaches know what games are kind of like these big games that are on the calendar are must win. And Texas OU's always been that game for both sides, but I think it's a little bit more pressure to put on because the loser of this game is in the bottom third of the Big 12, with still Oklahoma State to play, Baylor to play, still some of the other top dogs in the conference. And so I think we are 1-1 in the Big 12. The beat West Virginia, lost to Tech. And then OU is 0-2, losing to TCU and losing to
Kansas State.
Kansas State. So, it's a must win because we hadn't played Kansas State yet either. So the top of this game really either kind of really knocks you out, or it kind of leaves you in the middle of the road or in the mix. So,
Yeah, I think if Texas can win this really sets them up nicely for the rest of the season because you get the confidence from winning this game. I think they got Iowa State next week, and like you said, Oklahoma State at the end of October. If they're sitting pretty after that, then they got a good chance for the conference championship, which I was never thought they would be in contention for that. But if they can win this, get the confidence, and things start rolling and things start going, building momentum in a positive way, I really think it sets them up really well for the rest of the year. But I know you got to go. One more question, and I know you got to take off. Where are you going? Are you going to the game? Where are you watching it? Where's it going down?
Oh, we're going to the game.
Nice.
This is going to be year 15 or 16, I think, in a row that
I was about to say, you probably haven't missed
game.
one between your playing days and then going to the game since. You probably have missed one in quite a while.
After I got done playing, I probably went about 4 or 5 years before I would even go.
Oh.
And then I want to say probably, so let's see, graduated in 2000. I was out of town for the 2000. I was in Chicago for the 63 to something OU whooping on us in 2000. I remember watching that on TV in Chicago in a sports bar. That was brutal. That one. It was bad. Yeah. I was so glad I did not go to that. So I didn't go to the game. I didn't go to the game for probably at least 2 to 3 years. I'm trying to think if I went to the 2005 one, the 2005 OU game. But yeah, I mean, it was for a while. Like I didn't go to the game, and then me and my wife, what we decided to do for like 2 years, we would go down for the tailgate and then go to the fair for a little while and then go home and watch the game. And then finally we started actually going to the game. But yeah, I would say probably close to 5 years. Oh, wow. Maybe 2005 may have been the first one I went to.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm still not sure. Talked to a couple friends, still trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to watch it. But yeah, okay, cool. Well, appreciate you jumping on here, Hicks. My bad on earlier in the week and kind of messing that up, but I'm glad we could do this, especially for this game, because this is this is the biggest one on the schedule. So yeah, I definitely wanted to hear your perspective. I mean, just from obviously playing the tunnel and this whole thing, it's such a unique experience in game too. I can't imagine just from even the fan perspective. So yeah, I'm really glad, thank you took the time so we could jump on here and do this today. So yeah, I really appreciate it. And good luck tonight. for your squad and your team. Who you said Sherman? Are you guys playing in Sherman or is it here in town?
It's in Frisco.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, because that's probably a long bus ride out to Sherman. So
About an hour.
yeah, yeah, terrible. So okay, cool. All right, well, good luck tonight, man. And we'll figure out. We'll probably maybe reconnect this weekend and see if we can figure something out for this weekend. But we'll figure it out sooner or later this weekend or next week. We'll keep it going.
Okay, man.
All right, Hicks, appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much, man.
All right, no problem. Hook 'em.
There you go. There it is. Love it.
All
See you
right,
later, buddy.
all right. See you, man.